months Real Talk at Rise. It's about the Rise Mentorship Program. So I'll let them introduce themselves and then hop right into it.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Liz, and I'm joined by my fabulous mentor, Jordan. And we're really excited to talk about our experience in the RISE mentorship program. Not just what mentorship looks like on paper, but what it's really like in practice. We're hoping to share what we've learned from each other, how mentorship has supported our growth during moments of transition, and what a trusted sounding board can make such a difference in our development. So we'll start off, just give a little bit of an introduction, and then kind of talk through what the experience has been for us. So, as I said, my name is Liz Westerfield. I am lucky enough to work at Wilbur, a subrogation law firm, as a client account manager. I work really closely with our clients to foster relationships, make sure they feel supported, and support that relationship long after onboarding.
Fantastic, Liz. Thank you. I'm happy to be here too. I'm Jordann Reis. I serve as the Director of Growth and Client Engagement at Tyson Mendez, and we're a nationwide insurance defense firm. We're committed to thought leadership and innovation through service, which aligns pretty great with my professional and personal walk, which is focusing on connecting the right people, delivering results for our clients, and then elevating like how we all succeed in insurance together. So I'm excited for this conversation because mentorship, especially through Rise, has played a meaningful role in my career. And since we kicked off this program, Liz and I did not know each other prior to this program. So fun fact, spoiler alert, we're now friends. And I've had many, yeah, I've had many individuals invest in me along the way. And mentorship is kind of how I continue to grow while I also pay it forward and back at the same time.
And I've been lucky enough to receive that in bountifuls. I mean, Jordan has been such a blessing, not only to my professional, but personal life. And we'll get into all that. But this program has truly changed my life. And I wouldn't be the person I am today without Jordan and Rice. So I'm very grateful that we get to talk about it. And kind of to kick us off, I thought we would start a little bit with our origin story, where we were at and, what made us explore this. For me, when I joined Rise, I was pretty new in my current role, and it ended up just being the perfect timing. I was excited for the role, but aware I was stepping into something new, and I really wanted to be intentional about how I showed up, how I started in the role, how I developed myself. And this mentorship program just fit perfectly into that for me to be able to show up, ask questions about things I knew I wanted to learn about, but then it quickly evolved that there were so many more things I wanted to learn from Jordan. Just hearing her talk, hearing her experiences, understanding all of the amazing people that have poured into her. And then I now get to learn from her and all of those people has been an experience I truly struggle to put into words. And I was blessed enough to kind of be aligned into this opportunity because I'd heard so many people talk such good things. I attended the leadership summit this past summer, and anyone who's been to that will tell you the energy, the people, the community, it felt so safe and felt so trusted. I've done mentorships. Previously in a past life, I was with a very large, very popular insurance provider, and they have a formal mentorship internally through corporate. This blew that out of the waters. And that's not to say that that wasn't a wonderful program, but I mean, Jordan and I have talked about this, and she'll say it much cuter than I will, but this was truly like a weirdly perfect match. And in ways of personal history, of goals, just so many things. We did a book club. Like, this experience has just been so wonderful. And I feel so lucky that I've been able to do this with you. And I think for me, when I came into this, I really wanted to the biggest thing for me was like, how can I show up confidently? I think we all deal with a little bit of imposter syndrome. And so I wanted to know that, how to grow my career. Anyone who's traveled knows that that is such a blessing, but it's also a beast in itself, and navigating that and making sure you're showing up authentically, professionally, doing everything that you can while you have those opportunities. And that was something that I didn't know I wanted to learn about going into it. That was actually something in one of our initial conversations, as Jordan and I talked, I realized, oh, well, I do want to learn more about that. Maybe that is something that I don't feel as confident about. And so it's been a really cool experience to step back after this is formally concluded. It hasn't. Jordan stuck with me for life. But to look back at what I really wanted when I started and realize there were so many things that came up professionally and personally that I've been so lucky to learn from her about. So I'll throw it to Jordan for her origin story.
Yeah, there's a famous comedian that said, if you don't have imposter syndrome, are you even trying? And I always think about that because I'm like, oh, it just means I'm trying. The power of a good reframe. Before joining Rise, I was doing the same thing that I'm doing today, just without a strong nationwide collective. So I have 15 plus years in insurance services. So I've got well, it's not my first rodeo. And I've seen associations and organizations, especially for young emerging leaders, come and go. So I was very attracted to Rise. Part of that is because I was an original founding member of YRP. Also, another fun fact, I'm full of them today, apparently, which is Young Risk Professionals. I don't know if anyone has heard about that group, but I had the blessing and privilege of helping to start the first chapter in Dallas with then founder Rachel Capua. And Rachel gave me one of my favorite go-to advice sound bites that I still lean on today. And it's when you don't know where to start, you start somewhere. And I feel like Rise has very much done that in bringing everyone together across associations, which I love. I love collaboration. So a group after my own heart. And it's been really fun to connect with Rise, and even across like segments or business lines, being able to develop that sense of community. And so I remain a big fan of YRP. And I think that's why when I met Rise, it was like meeting an old friend. I've been fortunate enough to have a front row seat to its success, kind of getting to know Rise from day one, getting to know the group behind Rise. Oh my gosh, Whitney, you're talking about team growth. Well, birds of a feather flock together. Knowing Amy throughout all of this has been an added, very sweet bonus. So it was a natural fit to love Rise and then to fall into a structured mentorship program, which yes, I will talk about. We'll talk about later. But to fall into that and to have a framework for mentorship is really important. First of all, mentorship can be awkward. It can be as odd as going up to someone at a party and being like, "Hey, would you like to have a pen pal?" And so having a place where you can engage in mentorship makes it an achievable goal, whether you're looking to be mentored or vice versa. And I think that was attractive to me, despite the challenges, which I know, Liz, we're also going to get into.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think for me, I don't know about you, Jordann, but I feel like it's been so wonderful to have that structure and those questions. But I mean, our conversations just flowed exponentially from that. I feel like they were a really great starting point. We always joked like, okay, we have to do our homework. But the conversations, and there was such value in reflecting on those, even if we didn't get to every single
Mhm.
topic. Because I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like it was such a good insight into myself and to be like, okay, now that I've reflected on that question, I really want to make sure we talk about this. And it kind of stemmed from all that. So it gave us a really great structure, but it also opened up to so much more.
Yeah, there were times where we would cover the first question and then completely miss the rest of them, but still doing the homework was great. And Liz was always a very good steward of doing homework. I, on the other hand, that was accountability for me because I would be like, well, I have to do my homework because I know Liz is going to do her homework. And then there were times where, despite thinking I didn't have enough time to even do this program in the beginning, we would find that an hour call wasn't long enough to get through everything. And I think that the length of a program is very strategic as well. So in the case that someone didn't have a good match, I feel like you're not stuck with that person so much that you are like, okay, this is like killing me softly. You can still do the work. If you have somebody that maybe wasn't partnering as well, which I haven't heard that, Whitney, actually. And I joke with Amy that if I was single, I would want Rise to like match me up, because it was such a perfect match between Liz and I. Now I ask other folks, like, tell me about your match, that first meeting point where, when you met your mentor, your mentee, like, what was that like for you? And I hear very similar stories. I'm just saying worst case scenario, if it wasn't a good match. The length of the program is enough where you can continue, should you choose to continue, discussing those questions that you didn't get to during the program, our exit stage left if needed. But a lot of support in navigating the experience, so much so that we even talked about extroverts and introverts. And I think this program is built for both. So if you're more analytical, you're not really the person that's going to like get up on stage during karaoke night. You'd rather pick the songs. You're going to love this program as much as the person that is finds talking and conversation more, is more at ease with that part of it. So it was really nice to have that guidance and that structure of the prompts.
It's wonderful. You guys did a great job. Just all of the homework, all of the intentional matching. We loved all the materials that we were provided.
Yeah, definitely. And I've talked a little bit about the challenges we faced. Those were not challenges I had with Liz at all. I know we'll talk about like keys to success and takeaways of this program, and it's definitely showing up and doing the work, which you were like A plus plus. One of the challenges I had came before I even submitted the application button, and that was overcoming just the fear of commitment. So to me, it was a huge step. I let the opportunity to apply for this program pass me by several times. And so if you're here on this call today and you're showing up, Carrie, I see you have a question also. So we'll get to that. Thank you. If you're on this call, it's like you're here for a reason. So I procrastinated, Liz, which I can only think that it was meant to be because we were found at the perfect moment. But this program in the end served as a reminder to make space, I guess, for things that matter and are important. So while I had a hard time signing up for the program, it ended up panning out. And my like first response in reflecting on our time together, Liz, was, why didn't I do this sooner? I had all the time I needed. It was strategic, just so y'all know. I did roll off the PTA board in 2025 or 2024 to make space for this program in 2025. But gosh, it was worth it. And I found that my challenges overcome were challenges met with incredible reward. Carrie, did you have a question? Sometimes it's like a glitch, right? Where you're like, I didn't mean to raise my hand. We certainly welcome interruption with questions and comments. So please interject. We do not have to finish a sentence. You may find a hard time getting a word in edgewise, as is with Liz and I, but we welcome interruption, please. So Carrie, if you figure it out or you did have something, please let us know.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Natalie. Sorry, I jumped in late and somewhere along the line overskip where I could change it from you to what my name is. Um, but so I have been doing insurance for quite a while now. I don't want to age myself, so I would say but I have started from, well, I started doing employee benefits and then transitioned over to um, a claim adjuster, leave of absent person. Um, did 5 years working as an adjuster and leading a team. And for the last 7 years, I've been on the corporate level um, where I implemented the claim process. And so now kind of is transitioning over to the risk side of things. Insurance is my jam. I kind of ended up in it in a weird way, but for the past couple of years, I love it. I love the complexity of it. I'm very analytical and structured in regards to my thinking, so I find out it works pretty well. And with all of that being said, the challenge for me is finding a mentor. I'm very introverted. I do go to like the work comp, the claim meeting, the RIM meetings. Um, but to be honest, those large crowds tend to, I feel overstimulated, not sure where to begin, but I'm ready now to take my career to the next level and want to stay in insurance. I think ideally, I see myself being on the insurance side for either like a director claim or compliance. I don't want to be pigeonholed in just managing work comp claims because for me, it's the diversity within that complexity that I love. So, how would I go about finding a mentor that can guide me through this process. And I've never had a mentor before, so this is the first time. I'm not sure if I truly need a mentor or just a sounding board or someone just to guide me within the industry.
Yeah, Jordann, I will say, everything that I have gotten from this experience, Jordann has been a sounding board. She has been someone who has been advice for me from her experiences, from her, like, people she's known's experiences. So I think hearing all that, I think you would love the Rise Mentorship Program. I would recommend. Applications are open. Whitney, correct me if I'm wrong, till February 1st. Yep. And so I would encourage you to apply to it, because I think that one-on-one connection that you thrive and have mentioned you do really well with is going to be there, and you're going to be able to ask those questions of, like, this is where I want to end up, what would you recommend? And even, like you said, that sounding board and that safe space, I can't speak highly enough about this program and their ability to match people, like, because that was something I was really nervous about. I love people, I love connecting with people. It's hard for me to find someone I don't get along with, but knowing that you're going to be vulnerable and opening up about your career and things that you might have to grow in, that's really uncomfortable. And so having some fears and worries around, like, okay, who are they going to match me with, is completely valid and normal. And I have never been happier with my match. So I can live to tell the tale that you will have a good match. I think this program is wonderful. Jordann, add on. I didn't mean to hog the answer.
No, I love it. And the shameless plug for the upcoming application deadline. Whitney was like, yes, yes. Yeah, Natalie, thank you so much for sharing. Another shameless plug for the amazing ability of the insurance professional path to just be however you want it to be and go in any direction you want it to be. I love the crossover of, like, going from one area of the insurance universe to the other. That's one of my favorite things about it. That's what I'll tell college students all the time. Imagine a career where you can literally do anything, make a pivot mid-career, but not lose your network. It's just beautiful. So I love that. Natalie, thank you so much. And I think you could benefit from having a mentor. I feel like everybody needs that person in their circle to have their name on the table, to put their name on the table, to mention their name in rooms where they are not present, virtual or not. So even outside of the Rise Mentorship Program, asking someone that you work with, like, hey, can you think of me when opportunities come up and I may not be around? It's always important to have that, as Liz termed it, hype girl or hype guy, gal, man, woman. And I've benefited from mentorship in many ways through my career, sometimes formal and sometimes informal, and sometimes without the other person even realizing the impact they had on me as a mentor. Does anyone have, like, a celebrity mentor where you're like, man, if Maya Angelou only knew what she did for me? But she's a mentor. Mel Robbins is another one that I really look at, and she doesn't know I'm out. She doesn't know I'm out here. And I know there's celebrities, but you have celebrities in your own world. And I think, Natalie, you could also really benefit from being a mentor to somebody. And I love that the mentor program is not one way. I felt just as mentored by Liz, as I know I had, like, the mentor title, but there was definitely an exchange back and forth. And I think that was probably the biggest blessing, Natalie, of being a mentor, was that gift of return mentorship. And again, like, just validation from this program at the end of it, and reflecting, was like, wow, anywhere you are, you can lead wherever you are. If you're a 1-year claims adjuster, if you've been doing this for a while, there's an opportunity to lead from wherever you are in the pack. So I can't say enough about it, Natalie, to just take the plunge and do it. It is awkward. I love calling it out. Like, hi, Liz, this is awkward for me. This is our first meeting. I don't know if you're going to like me. I don't know if I'm going to like you, but we're here, aren't we? And just kind of saying, like, yes, this is awkward. And I actually use that, Natalie, at conferences too. I'll be like, this is awkward. We're both standing here together and don't really know how to get the conversation going. And ironically enough, Liz and I have never met in person. I have a pen pal, but we will meet for the first time, if nothing happens earth-shattering before then, at the Rise Leadership Summit this summer. And it makes having somebody that you have that connection with, Natalie, and then you go into those big rooms, having somebody that can anchor some of that is helpful even for me. And some people think I'm like an expert mingler or something. And even as an extrovert, I still have all those feelings of, like, this is awkward. Where do I go? There's 100 people here, yet I'm just standing. And so it'll be nice at the leadership summit to say, hey, Liz, can we meet for coffee? And then we can walk in this really scary room together. So I think that this program is a great place to start. I mentioned the structure of the program, the duration of the program. It really is like mentoring and menteeing for dummies. It really is like a caveman could do it. Like, how many analogies can I throw into this? It really is a program that sets you up for success. If you just can follow the rules, like how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you start at square one and you do the modules inside the community, which Circle is fantastic for that, because it guides you as you move along, you will get so much from this program and not really have to think about it. You won't have to find the match. You won't have to, other than setting up that, first schedule. And there's deadlines, right, Wendy? Like along the way, we held deadlines, Liz. So like it gives you SMART goals in order to complete this program. The other stuff, the relationship and the personal growth and the professional growth, that's all just added intrinsic value to the program.
Thank you. I'll definitely make sure I submit that application.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah. And report back.
Yeah, let us know how it is.
Yeah. Let us know for sure. It's like when you're on a flight and someone's like worried they're going to miss their connecting flight and you like help them and encourage them, but then they leave and you never know what happens. What? So like, but hey, it doesn't have to be that way. Natalie, let us know. And if we can support you and mentor you through this program, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. And we're happy to connect with you and provide some tips and tricks for the process. We actually, at the conclusion of our program, both posted, we'll have to share that with our post that we did on LinkedIn. We had a Spotify playlist for mentor menteeship, and then some tips and tricks. I wrote a letter to my former self before this program, which was really fun to reflect on and write. But we're here for you, Natalie, too.
Anything you need, a hype girl to get you through the application, whatever you need, we're here and in your corner.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'll say side comment. Sorry, I want to share real quick. You mentioned celebrity mentors.
Yes.
Timothy Ferriss has a book called Tribe of Mentors.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Nice.
But essentially, he sought out like top of professional experts, right, in all these different fields, and got to the right. What's the one main takeaway you would teach someone, right, from your experience or life? And so it's like Bill Gates and all these different people like that you would think of as celebrities, just sharing, words of wisdom. So that is called Tribe of Mentors because it's all about finding mentors.
Fantastic recommendation. Thank you so much for that. I'll have to add that to my books for the year. I would very much enjoy that. And one of the things Liz and I shared throughout this program was things like that we love from our own little small space in the universe with each other. And we ended up reading a book that was recommended by someone in Liz's network. And then I would bring things like from people in my network. And it was like this collaboration of us together was very small in the big scheme of things. But that whole like degrees of separation, I joke that insurance is 2.5 degrees because we're all very like close, it's a tight knit community. But gosh, we just were able to pull and extract from our own experiences and recommendations like that. For record, the book was Never Split the Difference. And it was a game changer for me.
Mm-hmm.
I am like negotiating with my toddler like no other, not toddler anymore, 4-year-old. But like, I mean, it's been game changing. And I was on vacation and I practiced what I learned in this book and was texting Liz that I felt like a rock star. So I very much always appreciate a great book recommendation. But another plus to this program is that it brought us together, Colby, and now I have a new one to read.
There you go.
Thank you.
I'll say the same thing. I actually joined late. Apologies, I had a call that went over, and I actually have to hop off early. But do enjoy meeting all of you, and look forward to connecting soon in the program. And hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right where you needed to be, Colby, with time and exit. It's never perfect, right? There's never perfect timing, but I love the power of showing up, even virtually.
Yeah. Well, pleasure to meet you, and hopefully we'll chat again soon.
Yeah, likewise.
I'm so excited for that book. And I think that's something like that I would love to reinstate is this program is as much or as little as you want it to be. So like we have a book club, we text, we love sharing things, but that might not be the season of life you're in, and that's okay. This doesn't have to be an all-encompassing, but it's wonderful if it is, and it's definitely what you put into it. And I I have benefited so much from all of that. And that's exactly what I wanted from my experience. So I feel like being really intentional when you go into this and understanding what you want to get out of your mentorship. And I would even encourage anyone who does end up applying, sit down with your leader and sit down with any other mentors you may have in your life and say, hey, what do you think would benefit? What are some things you'd like to see me ask? Because having that outside perspective and going outside of just yourself might open up to say, oh, actually, you have X, Y, and Z coming up. I'd love to see you explore some options through this. And that also adds a value from a business standpoint. It lets your leader know that you're being intentional about your development. So it's plugging yourself, it's opening yourself up to different opportunities, but it's also showing that there is a business value add to it. And that just promotes that you're being intentional with your development. So I would highly encourage that, to really reflect and be intentional with the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a great, fantastic tip. Absolutely. And it was shared internally with the Tyson and Mendez network as well. And I found another one of my colleagues, Liz, I don't know if I shared this with you, who was also participating in the program. It made me wonder, like, how many people in Tyson and Mendez have done this program? And her and I set up a Zoom call, just a virtual coffee chat, my favorite kind of virtual meeting. And we were able to connect, and I was able to hear her story into insurance. Natalie, you mentioned how you ended up here. Some of us did fall and trip and land in insurance, and others chose this and majored in it, which I'm fascinated by. But we were able to connect even internally at Tyson and Mendez. And they do say that your network is your net worth. But really what I hear most often in the insurance sphere is that insurance is about people. I entered into the industry in emergency mitigation and restoration, where the focus was mostly not on people resources like attorneys, but on equipment. And I would say at the end of the day, anybody can plug in the same piece of equipment, but it comes down to the relationships and the people, the relationships you have and the people that you are surrounded by, both the ones you work with and the ones you're working for. And I 15 years later, believe that very same phrase. And that is so true. But the people that this program brings together, like the ones on this call, my colleague, and then initially connected me with Liz, is what really brings purpose to the daily walk. And it was great with Liz because sometimes you're so close to the problem. Like, maybe I don't want to talk to my boss about some of these things. Maybe I don't want to talk to a colleague who I know is just going to appease me. And I want to really be challenged. And I think a lot of the guided dialogue provided by Rise, the questions and the prompts that we discussed, was a great, like, safe space, yes, but also like a trusted third party. I knew that Liz was going to come forth with certainty and honesty. Authenticity is a word that we used a lot, but it was really nice to have a sounding board, but one that I knew wasn't just going to have another dimension to it. Like, it really was just very natural. And so it was really nice to have that. But then the spreading of this network has just continued to grow. There's like a community within a community. So you have Rise and you have your communities, but then bringing them together from a mentorship or mentee perspective it was mind blowing.
Yes. And even the posts in the community, I feel like there have been so many posts about people who are going through challenges, or like there was one day I was just having a hard day and someone was really vulnerable and had this beautiful post about, seasonal depression and how it's really hard. And you just felt so seen. I did, at least. And it was so vulnerable and wonderful that a member was that open and honest. And it was and there's so many resources, whether it's conflict communication, but like truly the testimony from Rise members when they post in there, I think is so valuable. And and they're not my mentor, but I'm still being mentored by them. They're still impacting my day. It's the network of professionals, and their willingness to help better everyone is unmatched. It's amazing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I kind of joke that, especially with socials, Instagram and TikTok, that the world is full of experts, but nobody is an expert in your story like you. And so to be a mentor, you don't have to have everything figured out. I've referenced like learning as much from Liz as I was allegedly able to dish out. And I think that as long as you are clear about what you want to grow, Liz mentioned that from the mentee perspective, but from the mentor perspective, what you personally want to grow. I think that's critical. So this morning I posted about imperfect timing. There never is a perfect time, but you can still choose to show up and make the most of the opportunities you have, and feel like everybody has something valuable to give in their walk. And I look forward to also serving as like a mentee in this program. I think role reversal is, in fact, fantastic. We can choose the opportunities wisely. And this is definitely one that I can recommend putting in the arsenal.
And I think I look back and I will share, Jordann knows this, but you had mentioned like having someone outside of the company is so beneficial and the impacts it has. And when Jordann and I started, I shared with her and I was embarrassed about it, but my company has a golf outing. And I was like, I've been told by my upper leadership that I need to learn how to golf. I had never golfed. And I was like, I want to do this, but I'm embarrassed and I'm going to make a fool of myself. I'm nervous to do it. Like I want to do this, but I don't know how to get there. And Jordann was so sweet, so kind, gave me like real things to try to, like, I have a little putting course at my house now, like a little green that I practice. Every time I'm on the golf course now, I attribute that to Jordann. I wouldn't have done any of those opportunities. And that's something for my career, but also as a person. And it became so much bigger. Like when Jordann sat me down about it, she was like, listen, everyone loves someone who is humble enough and learning something, and they can say that. And so I think about that a lot now when I'm nervous about something or trying something new. I'm like, Jordann told me that everyone loves someone who's trying something new. So I need to just try this and it's going to be okay. And it's those little things that become so much bigger. Like it was about golf, but now it's become so much more than about golf. And I am so grateful for that.
Yeah, golf is life.
Yes.
Golf is life in action. Are there any questions perhaps that we haven't answered, or things you wish that we would have addressed that we didn't? It's a very generic call out, but we're happy to answer anything that you feel like we should have included in our real talk. I know we both very much enjoyed this program. Whitney, it was very much a blessing. And thank you, Liz, for showing up, but doing the work and showing up very, very well. So it was rewarding for me. I'm a big fan of it, so I'll continue to advocate for this. It's not just a talk. It's not a soapbox. I believed in it before, but going through it has definitely given me a renewed sense or a validation of what makes this industry so special. And you see it in those bigger rooms that Natalie referred to. When you leave the leadership summit, when you leave a good gathering, you do feel the energy of that. It is contagious. It is why showing up in person is also important in addition to virtual. But this is a program that you can do very lightly. You can integrate it at a cadence and frequency that works well for you. I didn't always take the calls in front of my computer as I travel a lot for work. So I would take them in the car. They weren't always a Zoom. Sometimes it was like old-fashioned phone call. But the ability to integrate this into your work life, already present integration, makes this program extremely attractive. Also, did we mention it's free? Literally, there is no cost other than the cost of time, which I couldn't think of a better resource to invest, both in yourself, but in somebody else as well. Because if we're not providing either light or shade for someone out in the world, what are we doing? So I encourage this as a meaningful experience. I remain open to answer any questions, Liz. I don't want to speak for you.
Yes, absolutely. Happy to share.
Okay, but we're here. We're here to support you all through the program and to sing the praises and good news of Rise as we carry forth and move forward. Okay. I'm happy to stay on for a little bit, Whitney. I don't know what our timeline looks like or where we are, but I'm happy to stay on or dismiss for a great short week and a good day. Liz, are you available for a little bit if anybody wants to stay on and have any questions? Okay,
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you all so much for your time and for being interested in this program. I would love to hear feedback if anybody comes back with success stories, good news.
Hey, sorry, my audio went out on my laptop, so
I did
I'm
too.
working
It
from
came
here.
back though. I
Oh,
missed part of your golf story, Liz, but
I'm sorry.
that's okay. I think I knew it. It was funny because James Roloff, who I'm connected with on LinkedIn, we were talking about something, and he was like, showing up is half the battle. And I was like, actually, I think it's fashion. I think fashion
It's look good and be
is half
nice.
the battle. And that's why I don't know if you mentioned that, but I told Liz Whitney, I was like, just get the outfit, show up, tell people this is my first time caller, and then like half of it's done, like the hard part's done, and then you just have to get out there and have fun.
And it was. I got a lot of compliments on my golf outfit. It was really fun.
that's important. Drive around, look cute, all the
Yep.
things. I
It was a
love
good
it.
time. Not the best, but I was a good time.
Well, thank you guys so much. This was awesome. And I, again, appreciate the time.
Gosh, thank you. We appreciate you, and we appreciate this program. Liz, thank you for being such a good moderator.
Oh,
Hey, Adam.
friend?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I just, before we hopped off the call, I just wanted to say thank you. This was really helpful and illuminating. I am a very new member. I'm still studying for my property and casualty insurance license. I'm trying to get into the community, and yeah, this call was really helpful. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Oh, that made my day. Thank you for being your beautiful self.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Thank
good
you.
luck with that. And if we can ever
Thank you.
help make an introduction through our networks, I know Liz has done that. I would be also happy to, if there's someone I'm connected with on LinkedIn that you're like, hey, they would be great for me to know. Please feel free to tap into that, as we can help you elevate and amplify your success. But best of luck with that. That's so exciting. And
Thank
you're with a very good group to equip and support you.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Adam. It was great to see your face.
Yep. Didn't want to just be an anonymous
I love
creeper on
No.
the call.
it. All good by us either way.
All right.
I love that. Thank you.
All right. Thanks again. Have a good one.
You
Thank
too.
you. You too. All right, friends. Well, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I hope I run into you tomorrow.
I know I will. Well, let's make sure. Let's make sure
Okay.
it happens. And Liz, like, the summer can't come fast enough.
I know.
Leadership Summit, here we come. I'm so excited. There's a lot of great things ahead, and it'll be great to meet you both.
It's going to
This
be.
session made me want to join the mentorship program. I don't even know if that's allowed because I work for Rise, but
Oh, I feel like you could, like, we know somebody, like, we could work it out.
I know someone who knows someone.
Yeah, I mean, all the cool kids are doing it. So
I know. So I heard.
Mhm.
Well, thank you guys again, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you. Have a
Okay,
great day.
bye.
y'all.
You too.